I talk to a lot of MSPs on a regular basis. And the longer we talk, the longer the conversation goes on, the more likely we are to start talking about how to get more business, how to get more leads, and those kinds of things. Then the conversation shifts over to talking about marketing. And then the conversation usually shifts from, boy, I hate marketing. Marketing is snake oil. I don't know how to generate more leads that way. I'm doing all of these different things and cold calling, and do I hire a service or whatever, those kinds of things. And I oftentimes just want to say, time out, stop for a minute. Let's reevaluate our conversation around marketing. What does it really mean to be a marketer? What does it really mean to generate leads and those kinds of things? And as part of this, I really want you to shift your idea from marketing as a concept to prospecting as a concept. Every MSP at every single level needs to be pretty good at prospecting. When you get bigger and you are 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, $20 million MSPs, then you need to really worry about marketing. But when you are small, sub a couple $1 million, you really should be focusing on prospecting first. Prospecting is ultimately where you're going to get the most leads, the most business from. So let's talk about that on today's Ramble. My name is Adam Hanneman. I've built this channel all around trying to help MSPs level up their business game. So let's head out on today's Ramble and let's talk about prospecting. When you think about prospecting, think about building relationships. We are in a relationship business, not a transactional business. So think about building relationships and becoming essentially business friends, building that business network with other people. That's how you're going to really drive your leads forward, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think there's 3 solid strategies that you need to master first, and that's what we're going to cover in the bulk of today's rambles. First stage is join some networking groups. And I am talking about things like chambers of commerce and BNI and those types of things. Now, I'm not saying join a group indiscriminately. You definitely want to go evaluate some groups first, because you want to make sure that the group that you join has your target client profile represented in that room. Now, it's not necessarily all of the people in the room that need to be your target client profile, but they need to interact with your target client profile. So if you go to a networking group and you find out that most of those companies are B2C or business to consumer, that you want to maybe not join that group. You want to make sure you're joining a group that does a lot more B2B, business to business sales and business to business relationships, and that's a group that you want to be in. Now, bonus points if there aren't other IT providers or other providers that do what you do in those rooms. But the big thing is find the right group or groups and then lean into it. Really be there. Show up for the meetings, go to the lunches, go to the breakfasts, speak on stage every opportunity you get, right? Those are really important things. And really just be part of that community. Really lean into it, because you're going to build relationships. And when you build relationships, your network expands. And when your network expands, you get more business. That is the entire point of joining a networking group. I think back to when I joined one, 25 years ago or 23 years ago now. And I joined the first one that I went to. Ultimately, it ended up working out okay. But probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. There may have been a better group for me. So don't just join the first one. That's going to be one key thing. The other thing to think about is groups like Vistage or EO, these entrepreneur or CEO groups. They aren't necessarily there to share leads. They're there to help build relationships. Well, when you build relationships with folks that are part of these groups, you'll find that you might share some leads there. It was sort of a secondary thing, right? Make sure you're there to do the thing you're there for, but don't be surprised if you end up taking on some new clients that are maybe members of your group. The second strategy is ask for referrals the right way. Many MSPs or many small businesses, when they meet with a client, they say, if you value what we do for you, please refer us to anybody that you might know that we could potentially do business with. That's too vague. When you throw it out there like that, no one's name comes to mind. Maybe a lot of people's name comes to mind, but oftentimes it's nothing because it's so vague, it's not useful. Instead, you want to ask for targeted referrals. A couple solid ways that I've seen work really well are, I'm looking to expand my growth in the CPA market or lawyer market, or lean into a specific vertical that client or prospect might know some folks in, and say, do you happen to know any lawyers that you might refer to us? Because that's who we're looking to add as clients. Or do you know a CPA, or do you know a home builder? Whatever the appropriate vertical is, lean into that. And that will oftentimes bring a single name to their head. And when that single name comes to their head, they're more likely to say, sure, I know Joe over here at this company. Why don't I make an introduction for you? That's the first piece. The second piece is, ask for specific referrals. Hey, I see you're connected to Jim Smith on LinkedIn. Would you please introduce me to Jim? I think we could do business together. Oftentimes, if that person knows that person well enough and they respect and like you, they're going to say, sure, no problem, happy to do it, and then you're off and running. I've also seen a lot of success when people ask how they can refer the other person business, right? How can I refer you business as well? I want to know more about your business. How can I help you grow your business as part of our relationship? So there's a lot of reciprocal things that happen that way. So be mindful of that, and then go look to help that person out, right? And that way you at least know who a good target for them is, so that when you meet them in real life, you can then forward them over. And then obviously don't forget to thank the person that referring, and obviously manage that relationship well. And the goal here is to ask for targeted referrals. You're going to get a lot more of them as you do. Third strategy is all about building your circles of influence. There are a number of different businesses that yield more results for you in your business, right? So in the MSP side of the world, these are things like cabling companies, ISPs that don't have a MSP as part of their world. Same thing with printer companies, right? Some printer companies don't have an MSP. If you know them, they could be a good referral partner for you. Business insurance agencies, right? These guys they have clients all the time trying to sign up for cybersecurity, and they don't know how to fill out that paperwork. They don't have the security in place to qualify for insurance. That's where you come in. Business real estate agents oftentimes will know companies that are moving or looking to move that maybe don't have an IT provider. Same thing with business moving companies. They sometimes can yield some results as well. Also, professional services organizations like CPAs and lawyers, those types of firms work with businesses all the time. So if you can build some relationships there, you can very likely translate those into further relationships and referrals on down the line. So get to know these people and refer them business, and they will likely refer you business as well. But really want to cultivate the people that live in your space, or at least live with your target client profile. Again, right? All of this pulls from that target client profile concept, because once you know who you're aiming at, you are much more likely to find them when you go looking for them, right? So that's the circles of influence piece. If you're getting value out of this video today, please do me a favor, hit that like button. So then you might be wondering, well, what about my website and SEO and AdWords and social media and some of that other traditional marketing side of the world? And there's a couple of things I want to get into. First thing, on your website, it can't suck. You have to have a solid website that just basically proves that you are who you are and that you have a real life business, right? That's the big thing there. I'll link a video. I talked a little bit about that up above. The second piece is SEO and AdWords. I think SEO and AdWords can be beneficial, but oftentimes it's expensive to find out that it's not like an easy button to just have the leads come pouring in. Yes, if you spend some money on SEO and spend some money on AdWords, you are very likely going to get some leads, but it's probably not going to be enough to fill up your pipeline and to hit the sales goals you're hoping to hit. Should you do SEO? Of course. You should at least have your website content in a manner that search engines pick it up and do the thing, right? The thing is, you can spend thousands upon thousands of dollars trying to optimize for SEO and hire companies that do that for you. And ultimately, I don't know that it's going to be that big of a return, especially when you're talking about thousands of dollars on it. The second thing as you shift over to AdWords is that out of all the couple hundred MSPs I talk to on a regular basis, there's like 3 or 4 that have had real success with AdWords. So it's not some magic, I'm going to plunk some money into AdWords and I'm going to get a bunch of money in return. Though a couple that are finding some success have switched into the mode of looking for exact searches only, right? So I think the default when you sign up for AdWords is that it's related search terms. Related search terms might be interesting, but I don't think it's going to get you what you're looking for. So make sure that you are mindful of the spend there and you're auditing it and you're paying attention to it. And that's the thing, is you don't want to just plunk your credit card down and say, I can spend $1,000 a month, because you can spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and not get a lead out of the deal. So really make sure you're paying attention to that. One thing I've found is that companies in large markets struggle more with AdWords and SEO because it's harder to stand out. But if you're in a smaller markets, a couple 100,000 people or smaller, you might have some more success with both SEO and AdWords. So be mindful of that as well. Either way, you want to be very deliberate about your spend there, and don't just keep sending money, dollar after dollar into that, whatever that looks like, because I just don't think it's a magic easy button. So then let's talk about social media for a minute. I'm more of a LinkedIn fan versus a Facebook, Instagram, and those kinds of things person. So most of my commentary is going to be about LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, there's a number of different ways that I think you can generate some additional awareness of your company, right? So the first thing is share thought leadership content, right? Share content out there that is aimed at your target client profile. Those are the people you're trying to reach via LinkedIn. So share things like how to be secure, how to use AI, ways to be more productive in your business. That type of content will go a lot further in trying to land those types of clients. The second thing is make friends with your target clients. Find their businesses on LinkedIn and follow their business, and then try to link in with some of their people. You follow their posts, comment meaningfully on their posts, connect with them purposefully, but don't do what many people have a tendency to do is you connect on LinkedIn and then immediately pepper them with a sales message. Nothing turns me off faster than when someone connects with me on LinkedIn and I get an immediate, hey, here's a sales pitch. That immediately makes me regret our connection on LinkedIn. So don't do that to other people, because I know I'm not in the minority there. Have a conversation, open a dialogue, be a human being with these people, because people buy from people. So make sure you're building those relationships. And if you do that, you can really lean into it. Now, I know a number of businesses that go way deep and really spend a lot of money and time on social media. Again, I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, you certainly could. But again, I want you to get the best bang for your buck. And I think building your personal network and have that be the goal of your prospecting is going to yield you a lot more sales than, spending more money on LinkedIn and more money on Facebook ads and more money on Adwords and all those different things. Marketing and prospecting is not a one and done concept, is not a 5-minute video here on YouTube and you have everything you ever need to know. So know that this is a thing we'll loop back to. Know that this is a continuum and things change over time. But no matter what you do, I implore you to go out there and build your network, build your professional network, meet people where they are, be human beings with these other people. The more you do that, the more you build relationships, the more likely you are to increase your sales. So thanks for coming on this ramble with me. I hope to see you on the next one.